What is up, guys? This is the State of the Game 2024 that Riot kind of announced and talked about in the original article back 2 weeks ago or whatever, kind of discussing that they're pulling back on the focus of PvP to PvE. And yeah, so this is the it was originally supposed to be a stream, but they made it into a video, probably because they're going to get a bunch of backlash. So yeah, let's take a look.
Hello and welcome. I'm Dave Guskin, executive producer
Let's take the speed down real quick.
of Legends of Runeterra, and we're here today to talk a bit about Legends of Runeterra's future.
Sorry about the quality. It's it just uploaded, so I'm going to just try to give as many comments as possible.
Riot. With me here today, I have a few familiar faces. There's Andre Van Roon, the head of League Studios.
Hey, folks.
Mark Merrill, our chief product officer and co-founder of Riot. And then Eric Shen, who's our current product lead and will soon be our new executive producer of Legends of Runeterra. I don't have my baton on me, unfortunately. I can't hand it off.
We'll get it later.
Yeah, we'll get it later.
I get votes.
Let's start with how we got here. Mark, if you want to talk a little bit about kind of the history of lore.
Sure. So, we first started working on what ultimately became Legends of Runeterra back in 2011. A lot of us, were huge fans of, CCGs. Part of the sort of the thesis and opportunity that really excited us as players was the fact that, in a lot of CCGs, one of the things we all love to do.
So the first thing I'll say, and they didn't mention this, but if Mark Merrill's on the YouTube video, it's never a good sign. You got this guy doesn't just show up to videos, all right? It's got to be it's probably a pretty big announcement, and probably not a great announcement for Legend of Runeterra.
It was build decks. And so we wanted to have a business model that was incredibly generous to players, that enabled people to have a lot of cards to then get into that fun experimentation and not feel like I've got to go spend hundreds of dollars in order to go get the cards, even build the decks and figure out,
Let people try it.
Yeah, exactly. Like Shadow Isles deck should feel very different than Demacia and, all the combinations we thought were really fun. And what's great is we delivered that, but we sort of, never really get the formula right. We were always spending a lot more money investing in the game and supporting the community than the game was bringing in, and so essentially being subsidized by our other products. So we tried a lot of things over the last couple of years to figure out how to grow the audience and what would resonate with players. And so we sort of reached a point where we had to make some changes to try to get to a place of sustainability, because players have been so committed to this game, and we know so many people love the game that we want to keep finding a way to deliver this awesome game that people love.
Yeah, I think the commitment and the love from the player base is one of the reasons we've got a lot of faith in the future of the game and a lot of that desire to keep improving and innovating on it.
Yeah, we've had players come along for the journey with us a lot here.
So nothing new yet, as far as the article pretty much went over all this stuff. We love the game, blah blah blah. We're gonna go move it to PvE.
We've done a lot of changes with PvP. We've tried doing Lab of Legends, which then became the Path of Champions. And what we've seen is that we've spent a lot of time on making the PvP side of the game much better, and players are actually spending a lot of their time in PvE. So it's kind of like, hey, it's probably appropriate for us to shift the focus a little bit, maybe line it up a little bit better where...
So, okay, I'm gonna here's my thoughts on the whole PvP thing. I'm sure I believe them 100%. PvP was probably more profitable. My only thing is, like, they probably have data on this, I'm guessing, but like, how much of the PvE players came to the game because of the PvP and play PvP, but just play more PvE? You know what I mean? Like, and if you're not releasing new cards for PvP, how is the PvE going to be that much more enjoyable? Like, there's some part of me that goes, well, if they're not releasing any more new content for the PvP side, I'm not, I don't know yet. But like, if that is the case, like a year from now, then, how much more new content can they release for PvE to make it enjoyable? I know in Path of Champions they can always, add new champions that they already had and everything like that. But people have played these champions. People are familiar with these champions. People like playing new stuff. They like seeing new stuff. And if there's no new cards, there's only so many different things you can add to the PvE. But anyway, I'll continue. I apologize. We'll get through this video.
We're spending more of our time on PvE because that's where the players are.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, Lab of Legends, when that mode first came out, it shot up in popularity. It spiked over even standard ranked at that time. And that's why we've been building on that mode for so long, developing ultimately into the Path of Champions. Right. And it can.
So when they released a new game mode, it spiked over standard rank at that time. Well, of course it did. They released a new game mode, but then he also kind of just makes it sound like
time. And that's why we've been building on that mode for so long,
I don't
developing
know.
ultimately into the Path of Champions.
Like, part of it just makes me feel like they're saying it's the PvE, like they're gonna go focus on it, but this is just a way of like kind of killing the game without like saying they're killing the game. I'm not mad at all. I think that's how I'm interpreting it.
And it continues to be our most popular mode, where both the actives and the hours, really, players are playing more games in that mode than even in standard ranked.
So like our big content and systems focus is going to be on Path of Champions, correct?
Right, yeah, we know we have an excellent card game, and we don't want to lose that, but we're going to be shifting more of our attention, more of our time toward improving the Path of Champions mode.
And ultimately, what we're doing is we're taking the resources we have and we're applying them to where the players really are.
This upcoming set that's releasing soon is going to be our last set, as players currently know them. That is
Wait, this upcoming set is gonna be the last set. So all these players that were coping, that we're gonna have another year of whatever, which honestly, who believed that? They fired like everybody. Who's gonna we can pretend that they had a whole year advance on this, but they had a whole year advance of probably shutting down the game. They probably already knew this from a while ago. They didn't just like, this didn't come out of thin air, right? So it would make sense that they wouldn't have another year of product to deliver if they were planning on killing the game now. It makes sense. And as we can see, look at that. They have one set available, and the game is absolutely dead, boys. Sorry to say. I am sad, not mad. I understand it from their perspective. The game does not make money. I cannot be mad at Riot, but that's just how the cookie crumbles.
doesn't mean we're not going to be releasing more champions, but it does mean that we're going to be changing the focus to be more on those champions in the Path of Champions. You two have given Lore a ton of support over the years, and I really appreciate that. I think that's continued up to today and will continue in the future.
Very much so. I think we're doing this across Riot as a whole in terms of how we try and pull like our world building, our storytelling together, and looking for opportunities for the different games to support each other more. We want to get a lot more connection between Lore and League of Legends, Teamfight Tactics, and Wild Rift. Get some of that sharing of ideas back and forth.
Yeah, Lore obviously has the strength in the PvE section, but then of course TFT has the strategy stuff, and League of Legends has like the champions. Yeah, so that takes us to what I think is an exciting new future for Lore. Eric, you want to kind of talk us through?
I like how he kind of like slides in there, like, oh, Lore has the strength in the PvE. It's like, does it? I mean, League of Legends has the strength in everything. Like, it's just an absolute massive, it's just a powerhouse, right? And TFT is a powerhouse, and then they just have like this Lore over, Legend of Runeterra over here. It's like not a powerhouse at all. It's not winning in anything. We can pretend. They're like, he's very like trying to. I've seen that they're like really trying to move it towards like, oh yeah, dude, PvP's where it's at, PvE's where it's at. Like, oh man, you guys trying this out? It's doing great. It's like, who's playing Path of Champions?
What's happening with this new focus on the Path of Champions?
Yeah, absolutely. We've actually been working on stuff for a while. So one of the
Okay, so now it just seems like, to be fair, the rest of this video is kind of just like an advertisement for Path of Champions, and I'm not really. I'll go through it, but I'm not gonna have much to say. Kind of my thoughts at the end of the day here is this: like, they're absolutely killing the game. It's sad. I really am, like, I might be like smiling and everything because I find that I've kind of come to terms with it, but it's sad. I do love the game. It's a very, very fun game, but it's sadly, this is kind of end of an era for for me, honestly. It's kind of the, I really, really did enjoy playing this game, and it's end of an era at Riot. Legend of Runeterra is not going to be nearly, I'm not sure it's going to be around in a year or two, honestly. I think it's kind of going to be left to wither and die, or maybe Path of Champions will be huge and it'll be very successful, but either way, it's not going to be what it is today, which is a great PvP card game. It's going to be more of like, at best, like a Slay the Spire kind of thing.
big things that are coming out really soon is our big expansion to the map of Runeterra with the Failure section. So right now,
I'm gonna
players have been
speed
beating
this
up on
up.
Asol for a while. They've been looking for something new.
this is just an
and Lissandra is going to be
advertisement.
our new big bad. Not your nerd, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Get her. Great jokes.
Get right out of here. Players are going to try their best, but we're really excited to see what they think of it. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard, and it's intentionally so.
And how OP can I be?
You can be OP because along with Failure, soon after that, we're going to do what we think is the full expansion to the mode itself. So we call it Constellations. It's a feature in which we take the star powers that players have now with up to 3 power, and it's going to go to 6. So we're going to have 20 champs coming out, 6 stars. Yes, get excited. Just a full step function level increase in power to match the difficulty they put out there in the Failure adventure.
Awesome. We're not just doing 6 existing champions here, are we?
There will be brand new champs as well.
So, like, it does seem like they actually are. Like, they do think the Path of Champions will be successful, and they're completely like pivoting and completely committing to it. And you know what? It makes sense. It's making them money. It is a fun game mode. It's good, but definitely sad to see PvP go.
Well, the ones that you take from 0 star all the way up to 6 star. So for those who love the grind, that's there for them too. Both some lore originals, some champs that exist now. So the whole gamut's going to be represented. Every region's got a champ.
Want to show a few of the champions we're going to be adding?
Aatrox has been playing really well. That's been one that people have been really liking during playtest sessions. There's a lore original that we're testing out with Nora. So we think she's going to come to the Path of Champions and just delight players with what we have in store there. So some portal action. Yeah, I love me some portals. Let's go. Just the 3 star, 6 star, just all of a sudden your board is filled. It's a lot of fun.
The true Nora
Yeah,
experience.
that's right. Yeah.
And when Arcane comes out later this year, anything we're thinking there?
I mean, never say never, but definitely Lissandra might be quickie in her boots of what we have coming after that.
Well, I think a lot of this exciting stuff that's still coming demonstrates also that we're of course still committed to Legends of Runeterra. So just want to take a moment to again say thank you to everybody that's been with us on this journey for Legends of Runeterra. Also again, just want to say thank you, Dave, for all the hard work and effort over the many years. And and also you're not totally going away.
That's true. Yeah, I'll still be around.
Yeah, Dave's gonna go work a little bit in R&D on some other cool stuff.
Dave's like, yep. I'm passing it on to my friend here, Riot Shen and Mark Merrill. Can you grab the gun? We're gonna take Shen. Can you take LOR out back? And Merrill, you mind finishing the job for us? Like, man.
Okay, on the pipe.
Yeah, and I also want to really say thank you to all our players.
It's
This has been an amazing experience being on lore. It's been an amazing team. I have a lot of faith in Eric and him being able to kind of take it to the future. And I think that we have a lot of support.
Absolutely. And there'll be a lot going on throughout the year. We're going to make sure we keep talking regularly with you folks, sometimes formal like this, sometimes more informal. If you want a few more details, we've also got an FAQ going out at the same time as this video. That'll cover some more stuff. We're really excited to see what Eric and the team cook up this year. How are you feeling, Eric?
I'm excited, dude. We got a lot for players. We got a great roadmap, so ready to hit the ground running. Get to work.
Well, on that note, thank you all for being here with us. Got a lot of
He's excited to take LOR out back. All right. Yeah. So at the end of the day, like, I'm not upset at Riot. They wanted a successful game. LOR was not it. Path of Champions, I hope it's successful for them. I'm not going to play it. I'm just not going to play it. It's not the type of game that I enjoy. If you enjoy it, great for you. I no hate here. I'm a competitive player, and it doesn't fulfill the fantasy for me. They are trying to make it like a positive spin, and that's kind of to be expected. Like, it's obviously sad, but they're trying to make it as positive as possible. They know that a lot of players are pretty upset about this news. Everyone watching this video is probably pretty upset. Anyone playing Path of Champions is not watching this. They're just like, all right, I'm just gonna play Path of Champions. It makes it better for me. Great. But as far as content on this channel, you're probably not going to see much LOR content, if any. I love the game, but they are not continuing to support it. Or at least they're not considering continuing to support competitive, and that's it's pretty sad for me. But it's all right. We'll move on. I've been playing some other games. You've seen kind of maybe a little lack of content in this past couple weeks, and that's just because I've been kind of waiting it out, seeing what the news is. Don't want to jump the gun, and it is the news that I thought it was, which is sad. But we'll see. It might be magic. It might be. I've been playing a bunch of games. All right. I don't know exactly what it's gonna be, but it'll be something. I will see you guys in the next video. Like, subscribe, and look forward to more content, whatever it may be. I'm excited for the future. I hope you are too. Peace.